Werewolves, one of the most feared and legendary creatures in mythology. The idea of a person transforming into a monstrous wolf, losing all sense of humanity, and hunting under the cover of darkness has terrified people for centuries. But there's one part of the myth we rarely question. Why does the full moon trigger the transformation? Is it just a popular idea reinforced by movies and books? Or is there something deeper, something ancient, connecting werewolves to the moon? The truth is that early werewolf legends never mentioned the full moon at all. The idea of the moon causing the transformation is actually a later addition to the myth, shaped by ancient superstitions and the moon's long-standing association with madness, magic, and transformation. To understand how this happened, let's go back to where the werewolf legend truly began. The story of the werewolf is far older than most people think. It appears in Greek, Norse, and medieval European folklore, but these early versions are very different from what we see in modern horror stories. In Greek mythology, we have the story of King Lycaon. He angered Zeus by trying to trick the gods, so as punishment, Zeus transformed him into a wolf. A terrifying curse, yes. But notice something? No full moon. This was divine wrath, not a lunar transformation. Then there's Norse mythology, where the Ulfhednar, elite Viking warriors, were said to channel the power of wolves, fighting with unmatched fury. Some believe they actually became wolves in battle. Did they have any connection to the moon? Maybe, but not in the way we think of werewolves today. And in medieval Europe, werewolves were feared as humans who could shift into wolves through curses, dark magic, or even drinking water from a wolf's paw print. Again, no full moon. So where did this idea of lunar transformation actually come from? The link between werewolves and the full moon didn't become widespread until the 17th and 18th centuries. By this time, folklore had started merging with superstitions about the moon's influence on human behavior. Ancient cultures already believed that the moon had mysterious powers. Its phases controlled the tides, affected the seasons, and seemed to influence certain animals. Over time, the full moon became a symbol of heightened supernatural activity, a night when strange things happened. And what better explanation for a werewolf's unpredictable, violent transformation than the eerie, glowing full moon? But this wasn't just about werewolves, because the full moon had always been seen as a force of change. The moon has always been linked to mystery, magic, and transformation. Since ancient times, people believed it had a direct influence on life, nature, and even human behavior. And in many cases, they weren't entirely wrong. Ever heard the term lunatic? It comes from Luna, the Roman goddess of the moon. For centuries, people believed that the full moon drove people insane. It was blamed for erratic behavior, strange dreams, and even violent outbursts. Some even thought sleeping under a full moon could change you, make you lose your mind, or worse, transform you into something unnatural. It's not hard to see how this idea played into the werewolf myth. If the moon could influence the human mind, why not the human body? But werewolves weren't the only creatures affected by the full moon. Vampires in Slavic folklore were said to be stronger when the moon was full. Witches were believed to perform their most powerful spells under its light. Spirits and ghosts were thought to be more active when the moon shone brightest. The full moon was already a symbol of chaos, danger, and transformation. So when werewolf legends evolved, it made perfect sense for their curse to be tied to the one celestial force that had always been feared. So, why do werewolves change under a full moon? The truth is, this wasn't always part of the legend. Ancient werewolf stories had nothing to do with the moon. But over time, as folklore mixed with superstition, the full moon became the perfect explanation for the terrifying, uncontrollable nature of the werewolf's transformation. Because when the full moon rises, strange things happen, and maybe, just maybe, somewhere out there, a werewolf is waiting for its time to hunt.